Hello, everyone, and welcome to our OnePlan Academy hosted Tech Tuesday, OnePlan's comprehensive in-product reporting tools. Today's webinar is the third and last of our three-part report series that concludes with an in-depth look at OnePlan's robust in-product reporting tools to help you discover how these tools can help generate insights on project performance, resource utilization, and more. Tech Tuesdays offer short, focused 1-hour sessions on OnePlan best practices and are hosted by OnePlan Academy. Throughout this series, we are exploring different aspects of OnePlan and sharing additional learning opportunities with you at the end of our session. My name is Deb Roth, and I'm the Director of Education and Training. With me today are Tina Shirk, Knowledge Architect at OnePlan, Stephanie Salsini, OnePlan Community Manager, and our OnePlan Report Subject Matter Expert and Sales Solution Consultant, Rupinder Sidhu. Together, we're here to share valuable insights and facilitate a productive session. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. Before we dive into today's topic, let's cover a few general housekeeping items. We welcome your participation through the chat, polls, and the Q&A panel. Stephanie's here to actively monitor these channels to ensure your questions and comments receive prompt responses. The community forum is regularly scheduled with Academy office hours and live Q&A for additional support. We'll share more about our community forum at the end of today's webinar. For follow-up information, today's webinar recording is available on our OnePlan YouTube channel, OnePlan Academy, and OnePlan Community. Also, we'll review any unanswered questions that we don't get to today and make sure we follow up with you directly. For those of you that are PMI certified, you can earn up to 1 PDU from today's webinar, and we will share the details at the end of our session. We are thrilled to offer you an in-depth exploration of OnePlan's in-product reporting capabilities, showcasing how you can seamlessly integrate these tools into your daily tasks. During the session, Rupinder is going to provide demonstrations of each reporting feature, and she'll also share practical tips where these capabilities have been successfully applied. In addition, we're going to share best practices throughout the webinar to inspire you and suggest ways that you can tailor these reports to fit your distinctive project needs. During today's webinar, we're going to take you through the following objectives. You'll learn how to access, visualize, and review plan insights, reports, and dashboards that are relevant to resource planning and program and project management, how to generate reports on project performance, how you can customize these reports to meet your unique project needs. We're also going to help you increase your understanding of how OnePlan's in-product reports help you generate insights on project performance as well, and resource utilization and how to find them. Rupinder is going to demonstrate and share practical tips along the way about each of these reporting options, as well as I mentioned, showcase practical examples of how these reporting capabilities have been implemented successfully. Along the way, we're going to make sure we share best practices that will maybe foster some ideas for you on ways to tailor these reports for your unique project needs. I'm going to send it back to the slides, and Rupinder, talk about a little bit about, what are the OnePlan in-product reports?
Yeah, great question, Deb. OnePlan in-product reports offering reporting and analytics directly within OnePlan so that users can generate insights and reports that are customizable and configurable to meet your needs without exporting data to any external tool.
Oh, okay. That's great to know. And I'm just wondering, why are these in-product reports important to us?
Yeah, another great question, Deb. The importance of OnePlan in-product reports lies in their ability to enhance project management and decision-making processes. It's to give you more of the data-driven information at your fingertips. So, for example, increasing efficiency provides real-time insights. It supports data visualization, area customizable, facilitates strategic planning. So these are the different kind of examples that we can provide you along the way when I'm giving the demonstration and give you a little bit of more insights on what these are. So real world examples, I will demonstrate real world examples, practical examples on how OnePlan's in-product reports capabilities enhance the efficiency of your project management and decision-making processes.
Super. That's great to know. And I know I look forward to having you show us how each of these in-product reports, we're going to be able to use them as tools to help show how we can improve efficiency and decision making.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will guide you through how to access these in-product reports, sharing best practices, tips, and tricks along the way. Before I get started, I would like to understand a little bit more about how familiar you are with the various OnePlan in-product report. Stephanie's going to launch our next poll based on your answers. I will be able to tailor the demo to better meet your needs. Stephanie, please go ahead. All right. So I will start, as you can see, I'm in OnePlan right now. So this is the demo environment that we have. So when you land on the home page of OnePlan, you will see some of the insights here in the top left-hand side. So these are the insights more. What this is it gives you more of your compliance report in kind of on your fingertips. So let's say if you're a project manager on 5 to 7 different projects, you don't need to go into every project and find out how your compliance, how compliant your project is. Meaning, if you have any overdue tasks or any tasks assigned to any resources assigned to your summary task, etc. So we do have these built-in kind of compliance reports. That's called insights within OnePlan. So as I scroll down here, I can see there's a lot of built-in. So one of the things that I really like about this is that we have different visuals here. So more is information is more of FYI, what's happening, that you have 5 tasks due this week. And other one is more of the warnings that you have some plans that your tasks aren't approved yet. And then another kind of visual here is the problem. So there's a issue or a problem going on. So these are all configurable in the configuration page of OnePlan. So these are very easily to configure. If there's any other the insights or the compliance that you guys are thinking of that I want this or any of the customization or configuration, I would say, you can easily do that as a user of OnePlan. So if I click on one of the, if I'll expand one of the insight here, I can simply just click on that task. So if I just single click on that task, it will take me right into that task from my home page. So I don't have to go to project and find out about my task and look for that task that is overdue. So I really like this feature. It just gives me everything kind of pulled in that information and give me that one aggregated view in my one snapshot for my insights. And these insights are scheduled to run at night, or you can schedule any time of the day. Majority of the users, they run it at night. But for example, let's say you have project managers or your team members are going through their project plans throughout the day, we do have this little refresh button that you can refresh your insights during daytime as well. And that will give you more of the real-time live data, what is happening in your project plans, if there's any due tasks, and so forth. So you got an idea. And also, let's say now you know that you wanted to clear out any of this insights that you have a presentation to display. You can always click on this little snooze button here on the far right hand side just to clear that out from your insight page. So that was one of the things that really handy to have once you land on your OnePlan, just to give you that what's happening. Other one on the home page is also the compliance. So you will notice that there is 86%, 71%, etc. So if I go into one of these projects, so I'm just going to go into data warehouse migration project from here, and you wanted to know where the 71%, what does it mean? Maybe your leadership wanted you guys to be 100% compliant. So what you can do is you will just click on the project name here, just to access your project, and you will be able to just click on reporting on the top right-hand side. And this is where all your insights are. So if I go in my insights, so I want to narrow it down on really know what's going on. So this is one way of looking at things, like you got a couple of problems at a plan level, and then you have a couple of problems at a schedule level. So what this is telling me is that you have four kind of issues, not issues or things are happening that are not compliant. And also in the schedule, there's about 5 items that are not compliant. So I'm just going to take you, so this is more at a project level. I will take you guys into my portfolio view. So this is all kind of embedded or pulled-in information. And the view that I will be looking for is the compliance view. So I will click on this compliance view in the my portfolio, and this is where you got your 43% compliant. So these are all calculated in the back end. What this tells me is that there are governance problems of item 4. So you'll never have more than 4, for example, because there's only 4 at the plan level. And then you also have 3, and then there's a formula kind of in the back end, kind of looks at how many are late tasks, what are the governance warnings, governance problems, etc. And so this is all built into OnePlan. And this is how your compliance percentage is calculated based on your governance problems, governance warnings, late tasks, tasks at risk, and all of these numbers, etc. So this is kind of really nice view. I really like it, and it tells me exactly how many active issues, how many active changes, etc. So now let's see from this My Portfolio dashboard. So this is like a really nice dashboard that I have for my compliance. I can always export this if I like to slice and dice my data in Excel. I can always export from these 3 little ellipses here, and I will be able to export that my compliance report or my compliance dashboard to my Excel to kind of have a little closer look on how your project is progressing throughout the execution. So this is one of the features that is really handy to have, and show you exactly what these percents are. And I did come across some of the customers that they really wanted their compliance to be green or 100%. So this is where you wanted to start going through and look at it. What are the problems and what are the warnings and how many late tasks, etc. to clear this, and then you'll be all green. Okay. Now, next thing what I wanted to show you, one of the built-in feature or the report in OnePlan is, I'll just go back to the home page. So if I don't know where I am, I can always go to the home and always go to the recent tab and access whatever the recent project I was in, instead of looking for my project. Or I can always click on the search button and type in my project name if I know that my project name. So I'm going to go into the data warehouse migration project again, and I will go into the details page, and this is where we have some of the built-in typically insights. If I scroll down here, we have some other visuals. For example, our project health. So our project health has all these are all configurable. So let's say if you have another KPI that you wanting to report on, or another health indicator, you will be able to add that or remove that, rename that, etc. within your details. So this visual kind of tells you right out of the gates how your project is progressing, what's off track, what's on track, etc. At the same time, you will see other visuals at the bottom here. So these are more of the trending feature that we have built in within OnePlan. So what this is if your leadership wants to see how your project is progressing over time, well, the way out of the box is there are multiple ways you guys can set it up. One is that when you submit a status report, it takes a snapshot. It takes a snapshot of all the fields that I wanted it to be snapshot at. Or when a new status report is being generated, that's when I wanted to take a snapshot. So your status report could have a cadence of weekly status report or monthly or bi-weekly, etc. And that's when it's all depend on your status report. So that's when these status reports are trends are taken. So if I put my mouse cursor on one of these lines here, it tells me that on June 5th, I had 1.053, and then you can see the previous status report, I had 903 to 66. So you can see that my budget is going up along the way. And you can do the same thing for your forecast or your actuals and kind of display all of that on your details page. So if any of your leaders needs to see that information on their fingertips, they will be able to just, instead of going through your financial plan or trying to find the information, this will provide them the information how your project is progressing over time, week after week or month after month. So this is nice, a kind of handy built-in feature, built-in kind of reporting feature that we have in OnePlan. All right, so next that I'm going to cover is I will click on the reporting here. As you guys are all, majority of you are familiar with status report in OnePlan. I will access the status report here, and this is all configurable. So let's say in some organization, their project managers may not do financials. They might have their project control analysts or project financial analysts. They manage their financials. They might wanting to hide the financials. You can always hide. Everything's configurable on this project, on this page. So if I scroll down here, you will be able to see that there's a table at the bottom, tasks in progress. You know, these are all configurable. You can say milestones in progress or completed milestones, any active risks or issues. All of these tables are all easily configurable within OnePlan. So this is our status report, and you can always export or in different formats the status report. You can PDF it or export as a Word document or email this report to whoever you needed to email to. If a person does not have access to OnePlan, you can use this. All right, so next one I'm going to touch on is our visualizer here. So this visualizer is, when you click on it, we got a couple tabs here on the top left. First one is dependencies, where it tells you where I'm in this plan, data warehouse migration plan, what are the predecessor and successor the dependencies that we have created for this particular plan. So this is a visual that gives me that. The next tab that I am going to touch on is the runway. So runway kind of tells you if I just reload this little reload button, it tells me that data warehouse migration, what are the different dependencies, what are the different key OKRs or objectives or key results that are associated with my plan. If I scroll a little bit on the right-hand side, we also have the enterprise architect feature in built in OnePlan. You can say, okay, this data warehouse migration plan is integrated also with this product or has these applications dependent on and capabilities and value streams, etc. So I really like this visual here. It really gives me that whole overview of what this plan is dependent on. What does it touch, for example? So let's say if you have one of the applications, maybe CRM applications, and you have to decommission that CRM app, and now you have been told that next year this application is going to decommission. We need to see what are the impacts, what are the risks. So you can always come in this visualizer and look at it and say, well, this CRM application is dependent on this plan. So until this project isn't done, we cannot decommission. So this will give you that kind of visual on what are happening with this particular plan. All right, you can always zoom in or zoom out just to look at all your dependencies and everything. And color by we have is you can have it different colors. You can do maybe color by actuals or color by maybe your overall health. Let's see, your overall health. You can choose different colors on how you wanted to view this. So we also have a little gear on here. You can also, let's say you don't want to, you only wanting to see your products and application in your projects. You can also configure whatever you're wanting to see in your visualizer as well. So you can always add which plans you wanted to incorporate. So let's say if you created a new plan type within OnePlan, you can always simply come in here and configure what other stuff you wanted to view here in your visualizer, right? So this is a nice feature here. Next one here is as I already mentioned, the insights. So this is an insight of this plan, data warehouse migration plan only. And you will be able to look at also your successes. So let's say you're just not necessarily wanting to just look at your problems or warnings or information. You can just look at your successes as well and show that, hey, look, I don't have any, your plan has resource plan, it goes and say your plan has a financial plan and everything. So these are nice successes that you will be able to see in here. And also it gives you the date stamp, when was your last compliance was run. So let's say for any reason, you updated your plan and it's still showing some outdated tasks, that your tasks are overdue. You can always come in here. You don't have to wait for the nightly job or anything. You can always come and refresh your insights. So if you're trying to fix your project plan and want it to be all nice and green everywhere in your insights, you can always run that compliance as a project manager and be able to look at what's happening.
And Rupinder, we did have a question that I just wanted to ask before we got too far along. From one of our members, how and where are these dependent links added? I think this was before we hopped into insights, yeah. But great.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, let me go back here. So there are a few things within OnePlan, how these dependencies are created. One is if I go into my portfolio here, and let me find my data warehouse project. It's right here. Okay. So these dependencies, if you're trying to create it at a project level, so you will click on these 4 vertical lines here. We call it hamburger icon. And you click on that and you will see this dependency option here. And you will be able to create. So we have the similar dependencies how we have in Microsoft Project is we have got different. If I just go and create a new dependency and I can say I have a plan type, or you can even create on a different, I have a dependency on a program or epic or an idea, etc. So you can create that and you will be able to view all your projects here. And if you know the project name, let's say if a system integration project, you can single click on it. And then we have different dependencies, whether it's a predecessor or a successor, and then also the type of dependencies. So there are 3 different types of dependencies. Either I'm depend on that project, or it's a blocker, or it's related to. So if I'm depend on that project, and then I have the 4 different link types, start to start, finish to finish, start to finish, and finish to start. And then you can add a little description in here. This project this plan must complete, or something, whatever you wanted to say for your own little notes here. Okay, so you can add that dependency. So this is at a plan level dependency. What we saw in the visualizer when we first clicked on, I'm just going to show you here again. So if I access my reporting and visualizer, so that was at a plan level. So this is the plan level, but all this runway stuff, these are my objective and key results. So to show you the dependency, you have to go into my strategy area. This is where all your objectives and your key results are. So if I click on one of the objectives here, and I click on details, this is where you will say these are the associated key results. And if I click on one of the associated key results, these are all associated plans and ideas and all of that. So all of this, whatever I have built in, you can see that this particular key result has a dependency of data warehouse. Everything's kind of pulled into your visualizer to show you, give you that view. But you have to create that dependency at a OKR level, like your objective and key result level, or your enterprise architect level as well. We have this area of enterprise architect. This is where all the applications and products are. And you need to create those dependencies for you to visualize, have that one kind of view, hold in that view that we saw. Hope that answers. But if not, just let us know in the chat and we'll be happy to go deep dive into that. All right, so I'm just going to go back where we were. I'm just going to sort my data warehouse here. And we did the insights. And next one I'm going to touch on is the dashboards. So I'll just quickly spend a few minutes here. As in the previous Tech Tuesdays, we did cover, there are some dashboards that you can build as a user within OnePlan. You don't have to have Power BI, a license or Power BI expertise. So to do that, so these first three tabs are built in dashboards within OnePlan, and then the last one is a Power BI dashboard. So we got all these built in within OnePlan. So part of your implementation, these Power BI dashboards are being deployed. And at the same time, when we deploy a template, you do get some of the built-in dashboards as well. So the first time when you access Power BI dashboard, it asks you to log in. So just to give you a quick glance at it, here we got some of the built-in here Power BI dashboard, and these are all configurable according to your requirements. Let's say you don't use maybe actuals or forecasts, but these are all can be renamed or removed from your page of this certain dashboard. Next one here is just to easily create your dashboard. As you can watch the other video, you can just click on the add dashboard here and you will name your dashboard. So for example, I'm just going to call it test, and you will be able to create your slicer. So these are all the fields that are available in OnePlan. So let's say along the way, you have your own custom fields that you created. All of those fields at the plan level fields will be available in this drop-down list for you to create your own dashboards. Or sorry, these are at the plan level because I'm in the project. We also have the portfolio level as well, these dashboards. All right, so I'm going to move on to global resource plan. We call it global resource plan. So this is more of the give you more of the aggregated view of all of your resources. So your project managers are working day to day in their plans and updating their resources, etc. And all of that information is being pulled within the global resource plan. What does that mean is that, let's say if I open up Amanda here, Amanda is allocated to all these projects. So these could be different project managers assigning Amanda to these projects. Okay, you will be able to see all of this pulled in information for Amanda in this view. So you will also notice that there's a lot of like green, yellow, red. What does that mean is if I put my mouse cursor on one of the numbers here, 264 hours, it tells me that Angela is way over allocated in month of March. And it tells me that her capacity is 168 hours, and then amount of hours she's allocated is 264 hours, and the over is 96. So this legend, how these yellow, green, red are configured in OnePlan is you will be able to see this legend in here in this last little icon in the ribbon. If I pull in my legend, this kind of gives you that view on how somebody's under allocated or over allocated and way over allocated, etc. So this is nice, kind of handy to have, if you ever have to go back and see when you're lighter yellow versus darker yellow here. So in our next release, you will be able to configure your own legend and create your own different colors and even change your colors, etc. as well. So we have a release coming up this weekend, and you'll see that there will be some options available here for you to configure your own legend. Okay, so pretty exciting about that. And then at the same time in the resource plan, we also have a dashboard here. And this is our resource dashboard. This is the Power BI dashboard. And then we got different pages available. So let's say if you don't want one of the page to be available or displayed, you can always go into Power BI and hide that page, and maybe just you're probably wanting to not overwhelm your end users or your leadership with all these different visuals. You can always feel free to hide any of these pages or and display whatever you wanted to display your information at the fingertips. All right.
We do have a question. How do you add resource holidays, and what effect would that have on the duration of projects?
Yeah, so there are a number of ways how you can add your vacation or your holidays. One is you can go as a team member in OnePlan. You can go into My Work. Under My Work, we have option called Time Off. You can easily go and time off, and this is all configuration. So if I say I want to add my time off, we got vacation, holiday, jury time. You can also add conferences or other different categories as well. And you can say, okay, I am taking vacation from toward the entire week, this week, for example, and they'll show you that I'm working 8 hours a day, and automatically it's approved status. So I can just save this, for example. And what it does is it puts in that whatever your allocation is as Toby here. If I go into now my OnePlan and my global resource plan view, if I go to Toby, that's who I'm kind of logged in as. And you will be able to notice that he's very well allocated. You'll be able to see wherever Toby's allocated, once that vacation is approved for that week or for that month, you will be able to see they're way over allocated because they don't have the capacity available because they're away. So in My Work is one way you can log in your time off. Other way is, let's say if you're an owner or manager, you can also add your time off in here as well. You will be able to see your time off requests, etc. Who is being, if you have a workflow happening that you want your resource managers to approve your time off, you will be able to see that time off in this view here. We also have time off in the timesheet. So if you guys are leveraging timesheets within OnePlan, we do have in timesheets as well here, timesheet. And then you'll be able to see just need to log in once. So it does that as well. So your capacity will look at your time off as well. Right? Hope that helps. Next one that I'm gonna touch, I'm gonna go back to my data warehouse migration project here, just quickly show you as we were talking about resource plan. If I'm in one of my plans here, I can click on my resource plan, and we also have this hidden kind of built-in some visuals in here as well. So if I turn on my candidate list in one of the resource plans within my plan, as I'm a project manager, let's say, you do have a little capacity versus demand visuals at the way bottom here. So this will kind of provide you, whoever is assigned to your project, you will be able to see their capacity versus their demand here. So this is also another visual that comes with it out of the box. So if I just look at the list view, or if I look at the capacity versus demand, it shows me how all of these resources that are in my plan are, it looks like, what are their allocations, etc. And you can look at it by business unit or by role. So you will see this legend as a role, or I can do it by your business unit, how many are IT, etc. So, and then if you wanted to filter, and let's say I only wanted to look at IT, and then you will be able to filter, and your visual will, no, that won't do it. It's just, it'll show you everything actually. You will not be able to filter, but in this visual. All right, just wanting to show you that this is a little hidden visual that we have in OnePlan. All right, the next one, I'm going to move on to our modeler.
We do have one more question before we move on. Is there a way to see had extra resource added? So looking at a project overall cost, saving due to project duration, saving to the cost of the, so the sources in key areas could in reality save money due to the overall project duration saving. Does that make sense?
So this is, sorry, can you repeat that question again, Stephanie?
Is there a way to see what would happen if we had extra resources added?
So it depends on your use case. So let's say if you have been told your project's supposed to end on end of December, end of the year, but you wanted to have it finished in September, you wanted to add extra resources to make sure your end date is completed, etc., that you will be able to do that, but that's gonna, you have to adjust your schedule to be able to execute that project, right? So it's looking at your due date. And let's say in this case, it's November 24th, but you wanted to add extra resources depending on which phase of the project you are in. And you have to fast track your project, and you will be able to see that. You can compare your baseline, everything, all of that. So it depends on the use case, but not in the visual. You will not be able to see that in the visualizer that I just showed you. Okay, so I'm just being mindful of time here. So I'm going to move on to Modeler here. So in Modeler, we also have some of the visuals that I wanted to show you that be mindful of. So I'll go into one of the models here. So one of the things is we have there are some bubble charts built in. So I'm just gonna, in the ribbon here, we have a model built in, IT 2025 project planning. And if I click on the bubble chart here, it shows me, this is a built-in visual. It shows us the x-axis and the y-axis, and you can always change your x-axis and y-axis, how you want it to see your visual. But out of the box, this is what we have. We have prioritization score in the y-axis and benefits on the x-axis. And the size of these bubbles are based on your budget. So you can also always change your size of your budget, maybe by forecast, so you know what's upcoming in your capital planning, or what you're forecasting, etc. You can always change the size of your bubbles as well. So now in this model that we have built, we have 47 projects in this model. So we don't have any projects that are out of this model. So I'm just going to take a couple of projects that, let's say, I don't want to do in my scenario planning. And if you guys have watched our Modeler Tech Tuesday, you will be familiar of all of how we can in and out our projects from our scenario planning and our portfolio analysis. So I'm just going to take out a couple of the projects in my scenario. So now I'm 45. And you will be able to see in this visual at the bottom screen here, I wanted to also include what's out of this plan or this scenario. And those are the gray ones. So this one and this ADO integration. So those are the out ones. So what this tells me is that if I need to include these two projects in my scenario, I'm not way off over there for my benefits. I'm really closer to my benefits with my other projects. So you will be able to do this in here as well. And we also have different views in here. So first one is the benefit versus prioritization. We also have budget versus our benefits. So what was our budget and what's our benefits? So you can always save your own visuals at the bottom. Just play around with different x-axis and y-axis, and you'll be able to look at that in a visual and show that in here as well. Okay. So that was another kind of visual here in the modeler. And we also have some dashboards, built-in dashboards for the modeler as well. That also comes with your implementation. So this is all the model stuff. So let's say you got different scenarios and in here that you built in, and you wanted to be able to compare your scenarios with scenario 1 versus scenario 2 and present this to the leadership, how your analysis looks like with the data that we have collected within OnePlan. You will be able to show these as well in here. So we got different pages of this modeler dashboards available in here. So this is all based on your different scenarios that you saved. So let's say I just wanted to look at the scenario 10 million one, you will be able to see that, and then anything 15 million scenario, you will be able to see that in here. So wanting to quickly show you guys how that looks like. Let me see if there is any other visuals. Just gonna hide that. So just to get your bubble chart away, you can just click on the bubble chart again, and you'll get your whole screen. So all in all, I think I've covered pretty much everything. And if you guys have any other questions, we'll stay on the call here, and feel free to add any questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions here.
Thanks, Rupinder. I think we had another kind of follow-up question on the resource, visualizing like resource allocation for projects. Adding on to that question, optimizing resource costs for overall project duration. Do you have any thoughts on that and the tools that we have available out of the box?
Cost for the, okay. So if I'm, let's say if I am, as a project manager, I go and start allocating my resources within my schedule. And all of this information is get pulled into my resource plan in here in my schedule. And you will be able to see who's allocated where. And here it tells me that my project is finishing in November. And at the same time, if I go into my financial plan, my forecast, it tells me that, as you're all aware in OnePlan, that or could be different scenarios that everybody uses, majority of the people uses blended cost because nobody want to share their real cost rate, like their rate or anything. So every role within OnePlan has, every user has a role assigned to them, and every role has a cost behind it or a rate behind it. And then this is how we pull in that information within OnePlan. So if you look at the forecast, so this is all of whoever I scheduled within my schedule. This is what the cost looks like. Now, if I go scroll a little bit on the right-hand side, it tells me that anywhere I have assigned my resources, I have a forecast only until October. And then if you think that you wanted to I can see I got only tester, that's the only cost coming in October. And if you wanted to finish your testing prior to October, you will be able to do that and look at your run, how that looks like from the financial side of things, how your end date or your resources are allocated. So that will kind of give you when are you scheduling your different resources. And then you have to go and adjust your schedule based on what the cost is coming up in later in the year for this particular project, for example.
Gotcha.
Tina?
I think that's good. Thank you, Rupinder, for that last question there. I'm just going to take over the share and then do our little wrap up here.
Sure. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you, Rupinder. And thank you again for that awesome demonstration of those in-product reporting tools, kind of beyond our dashboards and beyond Power BI, but really getting into those kind of hidden gems throughout OnePlan. So again, today, Rupinder walked through all of these through that demo, showing us how we can access and visualize these different reports for resource planning, capacity versus demand, visualizing cross-project dependencies to gain important insights, and more. We also increased our understanding of how you can leverage these in-product reports to generate insights for project report performance. And then throughout today's session, Rupinder also highlighted some practical tips and tricks and demonstrations of best practices from her plethora of experience leveraging OnePlan and working with other customers using OnePlan. So as you begin your journey with OnePlan, please leverage our ample resources that we've created for you guys to get familiar with OnePlan and help drive results throughout your organization. We have OnePlan Academy, which is our learning platform at oneplanacademy.com, full of video-based step-by-step tutorials, kind of more in a video-based learning spin on OnePlan, as well as OnePlan support, which has more of the technical how-to documents. We also have our upcoming our next Tech Tuesday coming up on July 8th, which is all about mastering agile work management with OnePlan. So focusing on Melody Schultz will come and guest this webinar, all about leveraging the agile tools within OnePlan, so you can even further centralize project management, leveraging OnePlan's vast options of tools. So some quick reminders then. Today's webinar is recorded, and this recording will be made available afterwards on the support portal, OnePlan Academy, and I believe there will also be a link on the community as well. And then any questions that you guys asked, so you guys were leveraging the Q&A panel. I believe we got to most of them, but we'll review them again, make sure we answer them. We'll follow up with you directly, or if you would like, you can join us for our office hours. We're hosting monthly office hours. So our next one will be on July 9th. So these office hours give an opportunity for live Q&A with experts. So we'll have subject matter experts that join us for every office hours. You can come, we'll have some material prepared related to, in this case, reporting, but we'll also have, please bring your questions so you can get the most out of that session and leverage our subject matter experts. So again, that's July 9th. Stephanie posted a link to that registration in the chat, so please join us if you can. I want to thank all of you for your time and attention today. And again, Rupinder, thank you for that awesome demonstration of those kind of hidden gems of visualizations throughout OnePlan and those different reporting options. And again, thank you for kind of walking us through all of the different reporting options through this reporting series. And for those of you in the audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer your questions. And again, if you're free and available, please join us for our community office hours again on July 9th. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.